If we go on a journey, we'll return on barricade. If a man goes on an odyssey, he will recall the farewell of Kun's age. The songbird has gone away with its sirens. Debo, the son of Akinwumi, has embarked on a journey of no return. Agbe bears the grievous mourn. Aro Aluko mourns its deepest treasure, Osun. The egret mourns its bright feathers, Efun. The gnome mourns its praising mat. Ṣebí Báládé ò sí nílé, ọmọ ní ìjogún ẹ̀wọ̀n. Iná kú òun àfi orúbojú. Bọ́gẹ̀dẹ̀ wàkọ̀ òun àfọmọ ẹ̀ rọ́pò. I am Adedamola, the last born child of the legendary Nigerian art composer, Debo Akinwumi.
Bẹ́rẹ̀ ní ṣáàgì nígbò ìwà ọ̀rọ̀kọ ní dájínù. Adíáfẹ́ ìtàn tí ń ṣe légbè ẹ̀yìn ọmọ ẹni lélégbè ẹni. Ikú mọ́ pẹ̀tàn o ọmọ ẹni lélégbè ẹni.
My dad was a rare gem. He was a man of many talents. He was a genius. In fact, he was much more than a classically trained musician. My dad was a playwright. He was a poet. He was a composer that excelled at different genres of music, as evident in his compositions. I'm really grateful for my mother, Oyedoyin. She filled the vacuum death left behind. Someone whom I refer to as a mighty Iroko, which alone makes a forest. The future is here, and I pray that she lives long enough to witness the sunny days.
Ṣùgbọ́n tẹ̀sán fún àjù mi lọ. Ẹ̀yin ló méjì rẹ̀. Ṣó ti dàbọ̀ nìyẹn? Débọ̀ bàbá.
Ìyá bá re bí àmọ́ dẹ́nilógún ọdún. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ràjò àmọ́ dọ́gbọ̀n oṣù. Aládé ìrìnàjò kò mọ̀mọ́dé mọ́ o. Débọ̀ ọmọ Akínwùmí ràjò àrèmábọ̀. I am Doyin Akinwumi, the wife of the late Debo Akinwumi. My husband was a kind man, very lovely father and husband. I was part of his group called Debo Akinwumi Kora in Ogbomoso in early 80s. We got married in 1989 in Ogbomoso, and the Debo Kora group sang two of his songs composed by my late husband, Jésù wá fara rẹ̀ hàn, and Bàbá wa tí ń bẹ ní ọ̀run, Kábọ̀ fún orúkọ rẹ̀. Grateful to God for helping me to raise our children, Adédayọ̀, Olúdọlápọ̀, and Adédàmọ́lá.
My name is Dayo Akinwumi. I'm the firstborn child of the late Debo Akinwumi. The late Debo Akinwumi was indeed a great man, a great father to all his children and a great husband to his lovely wife, my mother. I can go on and on to talk about my father because of the impact he had in the life of us, his children. He's a very, very selfless father who went out of his way to ensure that we were well taken care of. Even when he did not have enough resources, he always ensured that our academic did not suffer. He always made sure he provided our daily bread, and he's such a great role model to me and my younger ones. And his impact was widely felt, not just within the family, but even in the community where we grew up, in the church, as well as in his workplace. He's a very selfless man, and he even affected the life of his students positively. I could remember one of his students who gave a testimony of his good work. We didn't even know about that particular incident. He went out of his way to ensure that he paid the tuition fee of his students, and he's such a man that he prefers to go hungry rather than see his neighbor go hungry. He was a very, very talented man, and he wasn't selfish with his talents. He would go out of his way to ensure that the people who had like passion in music, he took out his time to groom them. He even spent money to develop people's talents. He was not self-centered at all. He never thought too highly of himself. He was very down to earth. He was very, very humble, and I'm very proud to have him as my father. I want to thank God especially for the kind of mother that he has given me and my younger ones. Because even when my dad was alive, my mom was always a very strong pillar of support for her husband. And I wonder where I would be now. I wonder where my brother would be now. I wonder where my sister would be now if it was not for the kind of mother that God has given us. She's indeed a very, very strong woman. Ever since the demise of her husband, she really stood in gap. She served both as our father and our mother. She made sure that we didn't suffer, we didn't lack any good thing. She ensured that the upbringing that the foundation that our father has laid was properly built upon. She trained us in the way of the Lord. She ensured that we had the best education we could possibly have. A lot of people will lose their father, they will stop their education halfway. A lot of people will lose their father and their life will never remain the same again. But we thank God for the kind of mother that we have. Spiritually, physically, she has always been there for us. And our life has always gone up in an upward trajectory. My mom, with the help of God, single-handedly raised us and supported us. And, at that time, we really needed so much support from family and friends. Well, we had support from some few friends who came around, but we just want to bless the name of the Lord because God alone was our ultimate support. Sometimes as human, you would expect support from maybe family, especially immediate and extended family, but men, the best of men, are still men at their very best. God is God, and God has been faithful to us. So we only have support from God, and God alone has been our support, really. And we thank God for how we have turned out. Because now, nobody has a bragging right over us. Nobody can say they made us. Even though we are not where we plan to be, but definitely we are not where we used to be. We are going higher. Leke leke fula fefe, leke leke fula fefe, Funfun ẹyẹ fò láfẹ́fẹ́, ó fò láfẹ́fẹ́ ire. Lékeleke fò láfẹ́fẹ́, lékeleke fò láfẹ́fẹ́. Funfun ẹyẹ fò láfẹ́fẹ́, ó fò láfẹ́fẹ́ ire.
My name is Dr. Christiana Oludolapo Fetiga ni Akinwumi, the only daughter of the late Debo Akinwumi. My dad was a very devoted Christian. He was a loving father to us and a caring husband to our mom. My dad really encouraged us academically. He really took our education very well. And I could remember when I was in junior secondary school in Oyo, where I schooled, he taught me theory and rudiments of music to the extent that I was always the best student in music subjects. So one thing I learned about him was his passion for the things that he did then, the way he served God and the way he handled anything about music. And this was what kept me going. This really motivated me in the things I do in my career and other things. I can remember his family was his first choir. Each time he composed a song, he usually rehearsed it with us, my siblings, myself, and our mom. And we usually learn it together, we sing together. In fact, to the extent that he distributed us into parts: soprano, alto, tenor. Then one of his songs, like I remember, ẹ̀kọ́ ní gbé ní ga, 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 ẹ jẹ́ ká rán ọmọ wa nílé ìwé, ẹ̀kọ́ ní gbé ní ga, ẹ jẹ́ ká rán ọmọ wa nílé ìwé, ẹ̀kọ́ ní gbé ní ga. Bí a bá rán ọmọ wa nílé ìwé, ó lè di dókítà lọ́la. Bí a bá fún ọmọ wa ní ẹ̀kọ́ tó pé, ó lè di gómìnà lọ́la. Ó lè di ẹnjìníà lọ́la. Ó lè di president lọ́la.
Debo Ali is my name. I am a Baptist, if I have to be specific, and then director of the Most Excellency Music Band. I am a music lover and a jazz lover, so to say, and a country representative for London College of Music in Nigeria. Debo Akinwumi, we all call him Bro Debo, Bro Debo. I think our journey started in the 90s, no, in the 80s, at the music workshop. What I could remember vividly was that most of the instructors that we have now, Debo Akinwumi used his influence to bring some of them on board. You know, Baptists won't pay you, but then they want good. So Debo Akinwumi used his influence to bring many of them on board as an instructor at the music workshop. So way back in 1980s, late 80s. So that was when I first came in contact with him. Well, Debo Akinwumi no doubt stood out in his lifetime as a Yoruba anthem or indigenous composer. Nobody can beat that. And then, he has a unique style that distinguishes him from every other composer. Even some of his students now, when they come out with their composition, I don't want to make it, you see the traces of Debo Akinwumi identity. We have them all over now that are doing well as a great composer. So Debo Akinwumi was icon to reckon with during his lifetime. In fact, during his lifetime, his class is the most populated class. We call it Dube class because you see people in their 500s, in their 1,000 coming to his class. You see, before I met him, I only believed that Yoruba composition could not be done in 4 parts. If you are maybe you can have soprano, alto, probably tenor. When I was growing up, I didn't believe that you can have a bass part. But when I came across his composition, not only the Debo has soprano, alto, tenor, and bass, at times you will see soprano 1, soprano 2, alto 1, alto 2, alto 3, tenor 1, tenor 2. And then you see when you see all the counterpoint, how this thing makes, it's beyond, it's beyond what you learn in school. It's beyond what you can say that somebody impart you, except for us to say that God just endowed him in that area. And then, so when I met him, when I first saw his composition, I said, so if a fellow musician like me can compose a song that will have about 8 parts, I think I can do the same. So I started studying his work. What was he thinking? What was his rule? So my study, my rule of harmony, but I discovered that Debo Akinwumi has a way of breaking rules, but still you'll be able to fault it. And then one quality thing about his composition that it won't change the tonality of the song like we have in some of our Yoruba composition now. Debo Akinwumi incorporated that into some of us that we really studied his work. I met Akin Odeshola. He said the same thing. Because Debo Akinwumi, when he said is Baba, you will hear Baba, not Baba. Debo Akinwumi make us to know. Some of the songs like this, when we were younger, we used to say, Aman Korin, Aman Sokwe, Olojo Ibi, Ijokan, Shewere. It was Debo Akinwumi that first said, no, Toba Shewere, he has gone man. No, what's supposed to say that? Shewere ho. And I said, no, we never thought of this. Shewere ni am kolori lati joyo. Was supposed to be. So that one helped us to know that before I began to study more deep into music, I heard from it that whenever you are doing any Yoruba composition, you should not change the tonality of and then when you mean the tonality, the real meaning of the Yoruba, so that when a young child hears that, you should be able to say, okay, this is what you are saying. So they will say, you see, don't change the real meaning of the song. Harmony will find its way around it, but let the people hear you when you are saying this is the correct pronunciation. Don't change the tonality. So that's another quality I found in him. And then you see, Debo Akinwumi has a large heart. I'm telling you, he has a large heart. If I could point out 1 or 2 occasions where we are, when I began as a composer, some years when they gave me, because then Mama will give us the theme. We will ask all of you that call yourself composer to go and compose on the theme of the music workshop. We don't argue with Debo because it will go in Yoruba line. So I started in this contemporary stuff. So the first time I did that, I wasn't deep in this music. I still had one, I wasn't too sure if I would note grouping. I didn't know that others were studying my music and then they were condemning it. So Debo Akinwumi just said, Shobo, let me see your score now. And I said, okay, they understand control by you. But see, if I were you, I would have done it in tripolar, not, the way you make, I could read it, but it's more complex. You know, while other people were castigating me, Debo Akinwumi pointed me out to say, no, should I make it 12-8? He said it should have been more easier for people to read than making it 4-4. If you understand what I mean, so 4-4 still goes in 4, but he said I was having more of ta. So my dotted everything was too much. He said I could do it. That one opened my eyes to the tripolar style of Yoruba composition. I'm telling you, and those are the things. There's another time, Brother Debo's humility. He composed a song when we were together in Lagos. He said, Shobo, you are doing well in this area. He said, just look at this composition. He said, in the area of English composition, nobody can argue with you, your authority. But just look at it. This is my composition. I said, Brother Debo, it's okay. Why? I don't want to change it. I just say, it's okay. And I said, okay, Shobo, Professor thought of me, okay. Kaipe woni wa se, báwo ni wa se. I said, okay, where Kaipe me ni, ma change the chord me by because Brother Debo is not a man of too many chords, like jazz chord that I studied. So when I say, I said, Mama, okay, don't worry, I'll just do one. You see, it takes somebody of high caliber in you, when talk of music, coming to a young boy just coming up, and then be telling me that, Shobo, you are authority in your area, and I'm telling you, that one breaks everything.
And there was a time we were touring Lagos for fundraising when he was invited to Harare. And we went around churches singing together. I remember so many of his songs. He composed, he was a wonderful composer. People still sing his songs till today. I believe his songs will keep inspiring people till Jesus comes. He sang about Easter, he sang about Christmas, he did wedding songs. He did so many, he did burial songs. He didn't need to have met the person before. Once you say this person is like this to me, he will welcome the person. He welcomed my fiancé, now my husband. He welcomed him into his home. I could go to Oyo with him and we could, stay in his house. He was just my big brother. In the 1990 workshop, I cannot forget that year. My fiancé came to that workshop. And that was the year Brother Debo's anthem, Ẹ Jẹ́ Kí Ìfẹ́ Kó Wà, was done. And when I said yes to my husband, the man I married today, I told Brother Debo, this is the song I will want to be sung on my wedding day. And Brother Debo made sure that he even tried to say, because on his own wedding day, he wrote his own wedding anthem, which is Jesu Wa Farare Han. I was part of the choir that sang on that day. And he wanted me to say, why don't you consider Jesu Wa Farare Han? I said, Rara, no. What I want is Ẹ Jẹ́ Kí Ìfẹ́ Kó Wà. Brother Debo brought the choir of St. Andrews and a lot of other people to my wedding. We didn't even miss the church choir. We didn't even invite them. We didn't ask them to come and sing on my wedding. He did the conducting of all the hymns, and he did Ẹ Jẹ́ Kí Ìfẹ́ Kó Wà for me.
Then some things happened when we were in Lagos. I wasn't that close as Brokeni was to him. Somebody just said, Egbon Lenny Yi. So I went to him. I just saw that Shobo, I will tell you, he opened his heart. He told me some things that we have heard, rumor that we have heard, scandal that we have. He told me the truth. He said, Shobo, go and do your findings. If anything contradicts what you've just said, what I've said, don't believe anything I ever tell you again. I saw the sincerity in him. I saw the humility that is not common. And then he's somebody that will leave what he wants to do for you to go up there. He will pull you. He will spend his last kobo. And I tell you, that one will bring us to the Lagos City Choir and Orchestra when we started it. But Debo collected his 3 months or 4 months salary. Salary continued to do. Because when we started Lagos System, it was one that spearheaded it. You guys, you must come together. Let's do something. We can do something. We'll be a musician and Baptist. Let's do something strong. That was his passion. So then it called some of us like me, Brokeni, Tope Phillips, Benga Kande. I think if I can remember all the good guys, and then Reverend Young to join us. But you see, because of the rivalry, okay, when we were about to do the concert, no fund. Odumosu was supposed to supply our equipment. No fund, nobody was there. And then Brother Debo collected his 3 months or 4 months salary. He brought it. When he gave it to Baba, Odumosu was there. Brother Debo let you away. And that's my girlfriend. Salary meaning. It's offering me, it's offering me. How much you go? You know, it wasn't Debo Akinwumi chorale group now. It's Baptist, Lagos City Baptist Choir and Orchestra. That morning, some of our leaders, the so-called leader among them, they have this money, but they're not ready to let go. So you could see his passion, his sacrifice for others to move. If I still remember, I remember when we wanted to go for Baptist World Alliance in Melbourne. Baptist World Alliance in Melbourne. It was the one that called all of us. You guys, opportunity, yo, let's go. What was that? Okay, Shobo. I think we were about 8. It was the one that spearheaded it before I could boldly say that before the people in Ibadan scatter it. I know the man who scattered the whole thing because they've asked us, they've gone to the embassy. They didn't take my document that day. So and then we're supposed to go to Ilorin that he told me, Shobo, I want to go move passport to the embassy. Ola unfailingly. So I have to leave Ilorin by 4. I charter a car. Only 4 of us in there. But Brother Debo gave me back some of the money. He said, Shobo, take. But see, when the visitor, they just said no. I said, Brother Debo, no. For them to tell your main keyboardist to bring his passport tomorrow morning. And they now gave you an excuse. In one of the excuses, they said, we heard from a reliable source that you will not come back. It was when we now got to Ibadan. I said, Brother Debo, Ibadan, not Shishe. I know the person that because I faced him and I told him to his face. But Brother Debo, you know, Brother Debo believed people so easily. He has this large heart. He didn't believe Kole, even though Toba she, until Toba told him for it. Brother Debo, Labjajaba no one dikini. Because then it was Aye Baba Fadeji. Baba Fadeji gave us every support we needed. Baba Bolani got dasly already. Because Baba Bolani was the reverend of Yaba Baptist Church there. So we had 2 of his members on the team. So he has to call the person about that. Lágbájá kí ló ń ṣe tó ń block àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ now. Wọ́n ní fún one letter of recommendation láti Ìbàdàn. Kí ni problem ẹ̀? Bàbá dẹ̀ kọ letter fún wa. So ìnáṣẹ́ ẹ̀ àwọn kan rò pé àwọn. Ṣé o mọ̀ gbogbo kí ni Brother Debo believe? Until ìgbà tí wọ́n dé, gbogbo àwọn tó yẹ kán rí wọn ní Melbourne wọn ní Mr. Akinwumi adẹ̀rí yín Melbourne wọn ní a máa lọ sí embassy ẹ̀ máa tọ̀ wá dáhùn wọ́n tọ́ ní dàkẹ́ kí ló dé? Wọ́n bá sọ wọn ní abẹ́yẹn Lágbájá sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ show pé ibẹ̀ lágbára lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ people dem are deep pẹ̀lú yín. That was, you know. But see, Brother Debo will not believe that you can harm him or that you can slide him. And then you see, one of the things I learned from him, most of the people that are close to him, they're the one that causes. Honestly, they did him more havoc. And that was the most painful thing to me, I'm telling you. Because some of them, I went to them on one-on-one. I told them, I said, when I was growing up musically, all of you are head. Debo Akinwumi ó máa ń fi ṣàkóso, ó máa ń fi yan gan. Pé ṣé o ti ṣọ́bọ̀ ìwọ náà máa ń tàbí ẹbí ọkẹ́. Mo rántí ìgbà tán wá sí Ìwó, ìgbà yẹn wọ́n gbé College of Education wá sí Ìwó. So he was handling the choral work off. So there was a day he was always at the rehearsal. I would go there. Màá lọ bọ́n ṣe. So mo ṣe jókòó lọ́jọ́ kan ní okay, ìwọ náà máa ń play piano kan déédéé kẹ́. Okay, ó yá, kàn fún mi ní key F. So and then mo ṣe fún wọn ní key F yẹn. Mo ṣe ń kọrin wájú orin kan. Ìyá bá mi mú kúrò láyé mi o, Olúwa. So I know little. But ṣé mo along the line mo ṣe ń play, mo ń rọ́ọ̀lù àwọn kọ́ọ̀ tó yẹ kí n rọ́ọ̀lù. Ó kàn ní abẹ́rẹ́ máa wọ ọwọ́ ìkẹ́. Mo kàn sọ pé kò lè fún mi ní kọ́ọ̀dù ni. Ó náà máa ń tàbí ẹbí ọkẹ́. Ó mọ̀ ló gbé yẹn fi mí lẹ́yìn yóò mọ̀. About 100 of. But see, if were some of the people they will take it the other way around. So Yorùbá máa ń sọ pé mo wà fóníwà olóúnjẹ mọ̀ rẹ̀ fọ́ rẹ̀. All of us, we cannot be the same. Brother ti fi mí jẹ́ kí n sọ pé Brother ti fi mí pa several, but you see, he didn't mean any evil. That is his way. So mo lè sọ, ó yẹ kẹ́ understand pé okay, is that not good part of it? And then that mo sọ gbogbo wọn, all of you benefited from Debo Akinwumi more than I do. I wasn't his direct student. I never studied under him. We only met at the music workshop. Our closeness only came at the music workshop. But all of you, some of you went through his tutelage. He fed you with his money. I don't want to be calling him. He fed you with his money. He fed, even at the detriment of his family. So, some of you now say, and then this is what I told them. I said, if truly Debo Akinwumi has done what you said, let's agree. Let's assume it was true. I said, but you're supposed to go to him as a brother, as a student. Say, most of the money, but Debo, ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wa gan o, èdè dojú ti wa, mo ní kẹ́ sọ sí wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ kó lè parí síbẹ̀. Mo ṣe ìgbà tẹ́ wá bèrè síta tẹ́ mo ní Yorùbá máa sọ pé ẹ̀tẹ́ awo ẹ̀tẹ́ ọ̀gbẹ̀rì ni yóò mọ̀ iye tẹ́ bá fi kò bóyá yẹ. You say I'm not supporting, but I see Debo Akinwumi has a better part. It's a part of the people that caused his downfall. They were the people that were closer to him. And then one of the things, you see, me and Brother Debo, we share so many memories that at times when I just look, I just say, so ọkùnrin dẹ̀ lọ ó dẹ̀ gbé gbogbo skill lọ báyìí ṣá, so kò sẹ́nibọ́dì tó tap. Nígbà tó ṣe Lagos City Choir and Orchestra yẹn, we became known. It was then in 1999 we were invited to come and minister at Obasanjo inauguration.
I remember in 1999 when General Olusegun Obasanjo, when he became the president of Nigeria, and we were going to do a national Thanksgiving. Professor Baje was the chaplain of Aso Rock Villa Chapel, and he invited Bro Debo to come with his choir to sing and then to join Abuja Mass Choir. Bro Debo went with us, and we collaborated with the Abuja Mass Choir, and it was a very beautiful despite the fact that there were so many hitches, and that is part of Brother Debo. He sacrificed everything and he got nothing, but he did not mind. He said it was a national assignment. He was not paid for it, but he did, he did his best. He put his personal resources, his time, his energy into it, and the event was a huge success.
We went with the Batati team, 25 choral, 25-man orchestra, and then we went with the 5 singer, with other people. When we got there, we joined the team now. We joined all the team, and then we came back to Lagos. By then, they got to know Mr. Debo Akinwumi. But some of the people that were really in Lagos then, they didn't want him to be known. I will make mention, but I don't want to make mention him. At most of them, they got to know of him. There was a time, I didn't know, somebody just called me on the phone. Is that Olumide Sobowale money? Yes, of course. Who is this with? Say, please don't ask me. Mo close mo Debo Akinwumi money? Yes, of course. Please, I want to share the Lati UK. They said they found a song and then they were sent to come and interview him. And then probably I said, only please, they were in Moson now. But I'm Moson stop one take on the Debo. Can you get in? Do you need money? I said, don't worry, I don't need money. I came to Oyo. Lọ́jọ́ yẹn, mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ mo lọ school, àwọn mo délé mo lọ sí quarters 11 ó mọ̀ ní sẹ̀lẹ̀ mi ò bá wọn gbà tá ti tú gbogbo school tí mo ti ń bọ̀ tí mo dówó dé mo kàn rí wọn kàn gbé wọn kàn cross láti NEPA ni wọn ni ṣọ́bọ̀ kí ló ṣe lọ́yọ̀ọ́ mo ní Adébọ̀ ẹ̀yin mo ti ń wákà Adébọ̀ náà sọ pé ó ti ń wá mi kiri gbogbo ní school ibi kan mo máa wá tí mo ti ń lọ kọ́ music tí mo ti ń lọ kọ́ pé mo sọ fún wọn Adébọ̀ wọn làwọn kan wà o láti UK wọn wà yẹn o mi ò mẹ́ni ẹni kan pé nọ́mbà mi ni ṣe máa dé Chicago máa lọ sìn wọ́n ṣùgbọ́n wọn àti máa kàn lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ máa kàn lára lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ and Debo got to Lagos by 8 but he told me when he got there when they saw him coming they told the security men don't let that guy come in because àwọn òyìnbó yẹn wà nílé because what I like to confuse àwọn òyìnbó yẹn pé kò sẹ́ńbọ̀ but àwọn òyìnbó yẹn say we've seen his work his work is being used at National Day in Ghana and this was Singapore or somewhere. I think it should be Singapore. They use the song because that one was put on the scoreboard. They stopped this. They said, if you allow this man to come in, from my own as that would have been his first breakthrough to international level. And I said, what will our people gain when you stop? When you are telling Oyibo people, white people, that there's no Debo Akinwumi. And then they find this word, they say, we know there's somebody, but then we don't know. Is it true that you don't know where he is? But they do. They want him to rise. You see, before Debo died, funny enough, the day he died, one of his students called me. What's his name? Toyin Ige. Okay, Toyin Ige called Debo. Oga. That's why I can never forget that because it was a day to my birthday. It was on the 19th. So when they called me, Oga, what kind of? Before then, after the Lagos City Orchestra, when Brother Debo came to Lagos, first time, he came on a sabbatical. After a year sabbatical, they gave him another year for accumulated leave because he told me that he has been working maybe for 8 or 10 years without leave. So they gave him accumulated leave.
My name is Israel Ademola. I'm one of Mr. Debo Akinwumi boys. We call him Oga. I met him when I was 7 years old at Orioke Baptist Church of Ogbomoso, where he was prominent among the choir and he was one of the best composers we have there. I can still remember all the songs he taught the choir because I was in juvenile choir there. From where you are you see Ọlọ́run wa ẹ̀yin lẹ gbogbo wa ẹ̀yin lẹ gbogbo. So he inspired me to read music. So when he became the head of department, Central College of Education, Oyo, I had to move there too. So I was in the music department, 1997 set. I entered 1994 together with Ruben Adesina, Ronke Sanda, Ronke Alamu, Abilagbo Mawumi, Bola Tito Olawuwo, Oyetunde Oyekola, and so on of us. We went to so many places, from Adekunle Ajasin Beria in Ondo. To Women's Disney MMU, Nigerian Baptist Convention Conference at Owo, now Bowen University, to so many other places. He wrote, after then, I moved further to University of Ilorin, where I studied performing art, but I still majored in music. I had to perform his opera that he wrote rather. So the opera is Sparking Star. Okay, the opera we did in the NC is called Parking Star. I played the major role there. I was the one that played the major role. So I can still remember one of the song that we sang there. From Àtinúkẹ́, ó rẹwà lóbìnrin, mo fẹ́ fi ẹ́ ṣaya. Màá gbàjọ cooperative nítorí Àtinúkẹ́, màá tọ́jú rẹ o. So loving and loving opera. So that was the one I performed when I was in NC. So at university level, I still perform his opera, The Dawn of a New Era. Ìgbà tuntun ti bẹ̀rẹ̀, ìgbà tuntun ló tún dé. Òní sí ìrẹ́jẹ, a ó jọ bọ̀wọ̀ fúnra wa. And so many other things I did and he taught me. Up to now, up to today, I'm still doing everything Brother Debo did when he was alive. I'm a composer, I'm a singer, I perform at occasions, I teach music, everything. He had inspired me a lot. That is why anytime they are doing Teachers' Day, I used to post his picture that you are my mentor and I will never forget.
So he did so many things. He helped them at Ijanike. I don't want to go to Ijanike's story because you see, there's nowhere Debo Akinwumi gets to. He leaves his footprint. You will always. I know some of the students that told me that it was when Mr. Akinwumi came, all the courses that we are having challenges, it was one that's opened everything to us in that it's not as difficult. Brother Debo, he live in Sule and then he has to go to Ijanike. Brother Debo will leave Sule 5:30 to 6. He will get to Ijanike by 7. If you know that far distance, it's a very committed and dutiful person. So there's no place where he go. It was in this place that they just wanted to meet him, the head of department. But still, Brother Debo, because I'm telling you this information you will know, and then anybody that want to contest it, let them come and meet me. I will tell them to their face. When he got to Ijanike, when he helped the students, when he was about leaving, the students said, "No, sir, this man cannot go." So the then, as a provost came to him, he told me, and I said, they said, the student wants you to stay. You know, when Debo will conduct a concert, and all of you will see, you make use of the raw material that you find around. So they wanted him to stay. But he said, no, I won't be able to do this because somebody brought me in. It's like a younger brother to me. Let me discuss with him. He discussed with that person unknowingly that person has interest. So you open up. And the student, he just got to school the following day. And then the students were raising, because these are the things they will tell you, but they won't tell you the genesis, what led to it. They were going, we should go. They were demonstrating in the department. You should go. So unfortunately for him, one of the lecturers in the other department told him, àwọn student tó ti máa lọ bá pé, God send him máa sí wa o. Ìyẹn wá pé àwọn alára kọ̀ọ̀kan náà pé ẹ̀yin ọmọ yẹn wá. Kò kí n ṣọkùn tẹ́ máa ń sọ fún mi pé ó ẹ̀ pé ní music department ń lélẹ̀. Wá gbogbo tẹ́ wọ́n sọ pé ó ti bá gbọ́ àwọn sùn. Ẹ sọ òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ̀ fún mi. Àwọn kan láti open up sir. Àwọn kan ló kọ́ wa náà sọ pé ká ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ sí. Kí ló ṣe? Wọ́n ní wọ́n fẹ́ fi jẹ head of department. But see, at that time, Brother Debo was struggling with it. How will I leave Oyo, St. Andrews? Because I'm still a lecturer, I only came on. So if I say at my father, I didn't plan to come and stay here. So I was still considering that. So, but you know, that would be a lobby. One day ní láti sọ fún àwọn ọmọ yẹn. He told the student, tẹ́ bá fẹ́ ṣoríire in life, go and meet this man and beg him. Or else, you will not amount to anything in life. I don't want to mention their name because, you know, I know them. They came to Sulere. They begged him.
Mr. Debo Akinwumi was not really a flamboyant person. I should not call him a shy person. He's a very shy person. Very shy, a gentleman to the core. Always on the safari suit. But whenever we're having he's lecturing us, or we're having him, because I think he used to take us on choral, dance band, orchestra. Hello? In fact, before he came on sabbatical leave, I was one of the students that doesn't always come to class. I used to be in Trump. But because of the love the relationship between us was more than a lecturer. You understand? I remember one of the songs those days, Òjò máa rọ̀, ìtura ló jẹ́, pẹ́pẹ́yẹ òun gbà tútù, ó bímọ, kò rẹ́yìn pọmọ. He was so full of life. No matter how useless you are, he will still know how to manage it. Debo Akinwumi is even more than a lecturer. I should call him a human resource person. Down there, a lot of things happen. As human beings, we have our own difficult time, days of bitterness, going through trials and tribulation. I remember then a lot of lecturers were beefing him, or some of the lecturers rather were beefing him. I think between 2000 and 2001, a lot of scandal. But we, the students, know that it was a setup because I think he came from St. Andrews College of Education, and the school authority wanted to retain him. But a lot of things, Nigerian politics, but it's one of those things. It's one of those things. He was, how will I put it? Most of the time when we are not even having this lecture, he do call us one by one. What is your problem? What are your challenges? You understand? I think if a lot of lecturers are like that, this world would have been a better place for us to live. He was always putting smiles on people's face, no matter, even at his own detriment.
They said, Debo could not believe it when they told him that it was Lagbaja who spearheaded. Said, can you say this in the presence of this? Because there's somebody very close to him. He said, well, I'm only Sosa, I'm a solid one. Said, brother was a Lagbaja with a trust here. Can't confess like enemy in suffering that the provost were banning now. Martin Batana. But I open up to you, but you should have told me, pay one on interest. I would have just stepped down. Willingly, although me banner. You see, Debo did that. When he worked at the new estate, Sabatica, he did that too. Show more. Ìgbà tán ti wá ronú, tí gbọ́n tán ti wá sí kòyìn, he has made a lot of money and said, ìgbà mo bá Brother Debo, ẹni láti fún gbogbo àwọn ṣẹ́yìn on score. Ṣọ́bọ̀, mo ní Brother Debo, máa fún software. Finally, là ń lò ń gbà yẹn. Ẹ̀yin jẹ́ pé inú ní music, you see, if you have met with Debo Akinwumi, 5 minutes is too much for him to bring out a song. 5 minutes is too much for him. And I've met some of his lecturers, people like late Kayode. He told me, said, that guy, when he came to school, we know it's different among all the students. He said, when he came, you know where he's going? He said, I'm for composition. And then he plays trombone too. And I said, he distinguished himself among other students. So that's why we gave him that full support. So, Brother Debo, escort one. Tí má kàn fi àwọn kìíní hàn yín, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ pé inú yín music wa, ẹ máa kàn máa mú, ẹ kàn máa gbé sí fúnra yín, ilé tí mi ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa ronú harmony ẹ̀yin ò kí ń kọ́, ẹ kàn máa ṣe lọ. Okay. So he now said, okay, Shobo, you know what? He told me, come say, Shobo, but you pay 15 years lawyer. I will do voluntary retirement. I'm telling you this, they will say, Shobo, I'm coming to Lagos. We're going to work together. I'll get a flat. I'll rent a flat. My rent a flat come off one. Anything you can show my yet, you can say, Shobo, we have to work together. We will get a flat for Debo Akinwumi Music School. Those was his dream. He told me, this is what I'm coming to do. So, I don't have money to give to his family. This is this man's vision. Moments of family, Debo Akinwumi one life me. You understand me? Because what my family cannot do for me, for someone to say, Shobo, mo man lo si border, man lo si Benin Republic. I'm a Loramoto. He was telling me he would buy 3 cars. I said, for work for me. First lady for his wife. I said the third one. He said for me. I said, but I do why me? Why me? I said, sure, but it's profession. I want to buy 3 cars. One for me, one for my wife. I remember he said, so my to pay the first lady here. My wife. And I said, how will somebody do this? So there's nothing I can do. So let me do so, and I call some of my friends that benefited directly from it. I said, you guys, everyone is in law. I came to Yode, I met Abegunde. By that time, the office, I was the first person that would go to his office. So I saw the score. When I saw the opera work, some of us are more deep. Because when I saw the opera work, I wanted to need drama, no. mi ò sí ní àfàwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan tí mo ti nígbà táwọn student wọn tán perform, but say I won't be able to do justice to it except àwọn student tó bá wà ńbẹ̀. So and I took some of the songs. When I just ran, I took some, maybe around close to 50 songs to Lagos, and I said, you guys, let's do this. So some of you that can score this, do that. If you do it, and I challenge all of them, if you do 2, I'll do 5. But I had in mind to do 10, just to spare. Because I said, if you want to do Debo's work, volume 10, we are still counting. So when I got to Oyo, I saw so many genres of music. Opera, I said, this is a place I cannot dabble into. So let me take some of his choral works that I know. So I think I took about 50 then. So I took it to Lagos. I called some of my friends. Let's do this. Some of them, because of constraint, commitment in church, I don't know, whatever. And it's like that, time in law now, anything, we won't be able to do anything. So by that time, God helped me. I did a job, and I could buy my own desktop there. So I just cut myself away from all these guys for months. And then you see, for you to know that I will tell you this, because when I was doing that work, because of regular light supply, there were times I didn't sleep up to 6 hours for about 2 or 3 days. So when I just said, let me sleep. Tí má ti díjú bẹ́ẹ̀ tí má fẹ́ sùn, kò ní tó wọ́ mi ni. Mo kàn rí ìrìkúrì ni. Kí má rí ẹkùn, kí má rí kí má rí ejò, kí ló ṣe lórí iṣẹ́ yìí? Má parí iṣẹ́ yìí o. I'm telling you. In fact, ó dé sè mú láti pé ìyàwó cousin pé ẹ jẹ́ bá mi gbé ice block wá. Ẹ bá mi gbé wá láti fridge. Wọ́n wá dà sí mi, mo ní ká bá mi po tea tó kí gan. So láti mú. I said this work. So ìgbà mo wá gbé pé, okay, let me start. Let me do something about this work. Let me see how far I can go. So that was when I came about the first volume and second volume. And this is our folk song. So I did it first. Maybe because of the rush and some of the things, I discovered some of the little mistake along the line that, káàkiri mo support Ekinini. After that mo share it down. Ó yẹ kán bá mi edit ẹ̀. Ó yẹ kán bá mi, but gbogbo wọn kàn fẹ́ jẹ́ kí n lọ ṣiṣẹ́ fún wọn. Kán wá kọ́rúkọ wọn sí gbàgádà. Pé lágbájá báyìí ló ṣe, láìláì dẹ̀ ṣe nǹkan kan náà ẹ̀. So that was why I did. I said, okay, this will be my contribution for the family. Let them have something that will remind them of what their father legacy looked like. At least it will bring in some of. And I think with the level we are able to do some, but it could have been more if we have more support. And then we could have done the revised edition that are finished now. But thank God, at least some of his work now is having footage, but not the way it should have been. I remember ìgbà tí kan náà student tó pè bro Ṣóbọ̀, gbogbo wàhálà yìí tẹ́ ń ṣe ó ti já sí o. Iṣẹ́ Debo Akinwumi ti wọ WAEC slab also. Ire gbogbo. So one day I said, do you have this? And I said, so it was my job. This is what we are praying, what we are hoping for. But I know that if people still come around, honestly, we can still make his work fly. It's not too late. So this is what prompted me to do the volume 1 and 2 and the folk song that I did, so that his family will have something. Yes, we want to thank God that we thank God that we will have one of his sons, at least that is in the line that he told, so that everything about him won't fizzle out. And then I want to thank God for Damola Akinwumi for his effort, for trying to make this documentary, and then for telling the lie of his father, even though musically, Akinwumi will be another thing, but for the passion and the love. At least so Tamba will know the family Debo Akinwumi. Once she anycan. So I want to give kudos to Damola Akinwumi. And then to their mom too, Sister Doyin. We want to Dayo and Dolapo, because when my two Debo compose on it, these are the main first choir. So my call Boni, we talk about we Shamoni dun bó ṣe kó dún. So tó bá dé dún bẹ́ẹ̀, okay. Ó ti jọ ìgbà wá ṣe wá gbé wá sí. We want to thank God. And then our prayer that God will sustain the family. You see, Only that but God's time is not too late. And I know that one day, Debo Akinwumi work will find another international. Because if you say Debo Akinwumi composition is just one directional, ẹ̀yin yòókù wọn ṣe ló ṣe ní Ghana National Day, wọn ṣe ló ṣe ní in Singapore National Day. Ẹ jẹ́ kí ìfẹ́ kó wà, let there be love. That was the song that made Debo Akinwumi known all over the world. Even àwọn tó wá láti UK, that was the song they came across. So, Damola, God will bless you and then God will take you to a higher level, even the one that your father could not get to in his lifetime. God will spare your heart in Jesus' name. Amen.
My name is Abiodun Olayemi Adeyi. Debo Akinwumi. We normally call him Brother Debo. I met him in 1988. Yes, my mom went to the music workshop with my sisters and met him. And then he thrilled my mom. That's just it. He thrilled her. And my mom invited her to our home. And that's how we met. I met him before I attended the music workshop. So he came to the family, and long story cut short, he became my big brother. He became the big brother of every one of us in the family. All of us. And Brother Debo was very sacrificial. There is nothing he cannot give. Honestly, there is nothing he couldn't give. He had time for people, and when he recognizes talent in you, he will help you to develop that talent. That's just it. He will help you to develop the talent. He will encourage you. He will teach you many things. He will spend his time and his money. I remember he taught me the guitar. He taught me theory of music. He taught me several things. And he would always want me to be in the choir. I sing soprano. I cannot but thank God for Brother Debo's life. It was a life well spent. Yes, very short, but very well spent. Brother Debo started with the Lagos City Baptist Choir and Orchestra. And we were doing Christmas carols. We're doing so many good anthems. And he encouraged a lot of us to write songs and to move forward in our musical careers. Brother Debo was a very wonderful family man. And he took all of us, we're always following him. And his wife always welcomed us. His wife also became our big sister. The family was a very, very wonderful family. I just pray that the Lord will sustain and keep the children and the wife, and let all good things continue to happen to these children. Let us continue to be hearing of these children in high places, because Brother Debo, he really sacrificed for people. He really gave his all for people, and he was very passionate about music. He was very passionate about the musical career. Anybody he sees that is talented, he takes that person in and he grooms and grooms and grooms that person. He encourages you to get to your heights. I pray that the Lord will keep this family in Jesus' name. Amen. Something about Brother Debo is that he's always smiling. Always. Always. And then when he recognizes aesthetics, when you are looking beautiful, he will commend. He will commend you. And his way of commenting, he will say, "Oh, tight. Oh, tight."
Yeah, I'm Reverend James Emmanuel, pastor here at Harvest Fire International Assembly. And by the grace of God, I'm also a music minister. Well, I met Mr. Debo Akinwumi in the year 1987. It was just a divine arrangement anyway. Our church bought a new set of equipment, and they were looking for somebody to come and train us. So among the instruments was trumpet and a few other ones. So that was how it came. And in fact, they started the training like 2 weeks before I get to know. So I joined them. Later I got there, so everybody were already playing this, playing that. And I have a brother, a senior brother. He was already playing guitar. I said, what else can I do? A lot of people on keyboard. So, okay, I don't want to do that. Okay, let me go for the trumpet. And that was how, he was the one that trained me how to play trumpet. And he taught me a few keys. But to his surprise, I discovered I was getting it faster than those that were even there the past 2 weeks. So he just started paying more attention to me, and we were becoming closer. He picked interest in me, you know. It's like a teacher, you should be able to know your students, the one that are, you know, getting things faster than others. So you have to pay more. He ought to the extent of taking me to his house. So, and you know, as a small boy, my parents didn't know the relationship has gone beyond just going for training in church. So he would even give me transport money. He said, come over to my house, and he started training me, teaching me things, and that was how we knew anyway. Yeah, I was in the tenor part, and at the same time I played trumpet for the band. Then some of the members, I can still remember people like Brother Gbola Laniyan, who was a bassist, a very good one, and people like Kehinde Oyewol. You know, she sings soprano, has a very high pitch, and you know, the twin sister Taiwo Oyewol. Those are the few ones I can remember for now. Yeah, actually, when the group started in Ogbomoso, then there was nothing like it. You know, people started inviting us for some of the major outings in Ogbomoso then, and you know, I can still remember that people were just wondering what kind of, you know, one thing about the late Debo Akinwumi is his harmony. His harmony, you know. He can just take any song and transform it. That's what I respect him most for. You know, no matter how bad that song is, if Debo Akinwumi will just take it, just a simple melody, and harmonize it. If you be running away from that song, you will come close. I can tell you that. You just come close. You just gather us under the tree. You'll say, you pick this part, you pick this part. By the time you finish, all of you, is this the same song? Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ níṣẹ́ lẹ́wà, just change it, just transform it. So that's one. So when we go out to sing or minister, you know, people will be, who are these people? Where are they from? They didn't know we are even in Ogbomoso. So when we go to some special outings like that, I remember we had one in Anglican school field. That should be Anglican is somewhere around close to Turkey. Forgetting that particular area, close to Alata supermarket. I think opposite Alata supermarket. But we had a major program there. Other churches were also there, and we were the last to sing. You know, they actually put us last because they were expecting the best. So when we sang, it was something else. So there were so many outings. I can mention so many. And one major one is this. Every year we used to have this Christmas, I call it Christmas Carol, in one of, there's a man in Ogbomoso there, I think around, forgotten the area. Every year we go to his place. His children will be back from US, and everybody will be around, and invite some other group, and they will be there to sing all through, all manner of Christmas song that he wrote. So we have several outings like that. Yeah. Okay, when I joined the group, the first song we sang, you know, we started this thing in Ogbomoso there, kind of a music composition, music competition. And he happens to be the one that writes the major item for the song, for the competition. So the first song he wrote is titled That's a Korean, very strong song. In fact, I must be honest with you, that was the first time I would hear a composition like that. Very strong. Yoruba, very strong. And we had a rehearsal at Baptist Theological Seminary. And, it was I can liken the number of the choristers to what we have in this Bonky Crusade. It was a strong one. That was in 1987. And then in 1988, we had another one. And that one is titled Ewa Ejeka Kori. That song is something else. I can still remember that very day. I experienced something I've never experienced in my life. As we were singing, I just saw myself crying. I said, wow, what is this? Actually, I've seen people cry before. I said, it has never happened. So for the first time, when we went to the humming part, wow, I can't explain what I was feeling. I said, what is this? As if I was no longer in this blessed heart. What kind of human being is this? What kind of harmony is this? What kind of arrangement is this? That was too serious. So, and then I remember during his wedding in 1989, he composed 2 songs. One is titled Jesu Wa Farare Han, calling for the manifestation of God's presence. And of course, he also composed a song based on the Lord's Prayer, Babawa Tom Benio. That song is so powerful. Just the Lord's Prayer. When you sing it, in fact, I remember our group then in somewhere in 1991, we sang that song in Ibadan, one of the major conventions. It was so strong. So I can continue. There are so many songs he wrote. So just let me mention a few. By the grace of God, he gave me the privilege of coming around, going with him to the Baptist workshop he would in the 80s then, late 80s. And I became a music instructor, handling the trumpet class. I did that 1989, 1990, I think 1991, and before I became busy with some other thing. Yeah. In fact, it was a great discovery, and I still appreciate that up to now. I remember then when I finished in school, I was just thinking, there's something as a minister of God now, I encourage parents to do a lot. Take time to study your children, know what God put in them, not just dictating to them what they should study, especially when it has to do with what you did. You think I should produce somebody like me. It doesn't work that way. God doesn't work that way. There's always that peculiarity in every child. And I said my parents couldn't discover that. My dad happens to be, a school principal, and yet he couldn't discover the aspect of me. Up to now, I do say it as an example when I'm talking to the youth. I went to the science class. Then that was in Form 4. When you finish Form 3, you move to Form 4. So you go to art class or science class. So I went to science class because my dad's friends used to call me doctor. I play rough a lot. So when I sustained any injury, they would take me to the hospital and then they say, doctor. So I didn't know the thing has entered my brain. So I said, I'm supposed to be a doctor. So I just joined my friend. We went in there. And in Form 4 there, that was around the same time I met with late Debo Akinwumi, and he started teaching me on trumpet. Then, so at times we'll go for inter-house sport together. We'll play some songs together, join the band. Then in the class, I remember my colleagues will be working on some equation like that and also working on some assignment, physics, additional mathematics. But me, I'll be busy. I'll be writing do, so, mi, la, re, preparing for one inter-house sport that is coming. I'll just be arranging what I will play. I remember one of them came to me and said, what are you doing? You failed woefully. Say, what is all this thing you are writing? I mean, that is why I had a strong passion for music. So we wrote the exam. In fact, my result was very bad. I can say I led from behind. You know what that means. And then my parents started talking to me. It was in the midst of that. My dad would talk, what nonsense, what's this? Mommy would talk. It was a bad time for me there. Then as we were working together with Mr. Debo Akinwumi, we were just talking. He was showing me things, he was teaching me things, what to play, you know. The first solo, I can still remember my first solo. It was the one that asked me to play it for his songs. Let me just, the trumpet is not here, I would have done that. He gave me what to play to that song. Then, as we were talking, as God will have it, he mentioned something. He said, like, when I was studying music, when I heard that word studying music, I said, sir, sorry, did you say you studied music? He said, yes, I studied music. It was like, something great has just happened to me. I was just wondering, so one can study music? I asked him, he said, yes, you can. I said, so I've seen what I would do. This is what I want to study, sir. This is what I want to study. Because I think the only subject I really performed well was Greek. So my parents were always talking. They say, I think if you know that you want to become a farmer, we will have bought you hoes and all manner of things like that, and you are wasting our money and all that and all that. So they were just talking to me. So he said, and I told him, I said, but this is a challenge I'm having. He said, don't worry, I'll come and see your parents. As God will have it, when he came over to the house to see my dad, lo and behold, he was somebody that also taught him in school. My dad taught him in school. In fact, I told my dad how he taught them how to pronounce certain words in English and all that and all that. So now to the side, please don't disturb him. He has passion for music. I want you to please encourage him. And that was it. I started to arrange with that. I went to art class and then repackaged, and that was how I was able to make it. And then got admission. But even before then, he did a lot for me. I can never forget. While we were still in church, that Sabo Baptist Church, Bomosho then, he would ask me to come over to his house in his room then. He was still a bachelor. And I remember inside his room, we get a manuscript. I didn't know what is called music manuscript. He got it, and they started teaching me how to do all those things. The scoring, there's nothing he did not teach me. He started teaching me like a music student. So many things like a music student, a lot of things about music, a lot of definitions he gave me, they are still in my head today. So when we got to school then, when they started music at then St. Andrews College of Education, then he asked me to apply and come. So that was how I gained the admission. I happened to be the second, set. The first set were just like, I think they were just 3. And then we came in. And I remember most time when he's teaching in the class, I used to be a very shy person. And I think pastoral work has taken that from me. He would say, I would just eye somewhere at the back. When he's teaching and some of the students are making him angry and all that, maybe they are not picking things fast. I say, some people are here, they just came to collect certificate. They have known everything already. Then he will mention my name. I said, I don't like this kind of announcement. And Debo Akinwumi can talk. Then he will just talk to them anyhow, mention my name. They come and do this one. I don't like this kind of thing. And, so that was it. It taught me a lot of things. What I went to school to do, just addition. It was a great blessing. I can't forget it. It was a great blessing. Well, I want to say that, we should try as much as possible. And I also want to say, probably with prayers, I want to encourage everyone to start to try to recognize people God has sent to you, because it's not everybody that is God sent. Some people are not sent to you. When they are not sent to you, they have come, the counsel they will give you will actually cancel the counsel of God for your life. So you must, by prayers, be able to discover whom God has sent to you. And when you discover them, you stay there and learn. Stay there and get the impartation you need, because you don't know, God is using them to package you for your tomorrow. A lot of things I got from him has so much helped me today. And by the grace of God, you can't be talking of songs or whatever, and at least in my own little way, I have something to contribute, because he made a lot of impact on my life. The way and manner you assess things musically, will change when you pay attention. So I discovered that, and I just went for that. We were so close that he used to come to my house. He was so free with me that he would come around, even here in the church. Then he would come visit me, teach me things, tell me about things, the new things he was working on, and all that and all that. So I thank God for that. So I'm encouraging everyone to take time to recognize people God has sent to you, because God will not come down from heaven to come and make you what you ought to be. God will always send people to help you become something, exactly what He wants you to become. So that is very, very important. That's how God has made it. I'm grateful to God that I met him. And I thank God for the family. I thank God for somebody like Damola, doing the work, exactly what the father did. And I've been encouraging him, and I know that God will help him to take it to the next level in Jesus' name. Thanks so much. One of the songs that we used to sing in the group, very powerful song then, was Ẹ Jẹ́ Ká Ṣe Ire. Let me just sing that. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe ire, ìkà kò pé o. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe ire, aráyé ẹ gbọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe ire, ìkà kò pé o. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe ire, aráyé ẹ gbọ́. Nítorí ọjọ́ alẹ́, nítorí ọjọ́ alẹ́,
Mr. Debo Akinwumi, that is an household name in music. We have been hearing of his name, and I did not know him, but I've heard about several of his compositions. And by the time we will meet was around 1996, when there was a vacancy for the post of an assistant lecturer in music then. Maybe through some of his students, or through Mr. Christopher Ayodele, who is also late now, and he got to know about me. And since then, he was eager to know me and wanted me to be one of the members of staff in that department. So when he got the hint there was going to be an appointment to that post, then he sent somebody to Shaki to go and look for me, and sent another person to Ibadan because he learned that I was teaching at St. Anne's School, Molete then. On the panel of the interview panel, I met about 15 persons. It was like, wow, these are the people I will face for the interview. And he said I should be myself. So they started asking me several questions, and I was asking. He was giving nod of approval. I was very happy. But there was one question they asked from me that bordered on people listening to bad music. What will I do if I have the position? If I were in the position, will I stop that music, or what will I do? I said, I will enact a particular law that will stop them from listening. So it was Mr. Akinwumi who reframed the question for me. And when I got it, and I answered appropriately, so he was happy. But he did something so wonderful to me. After I left, then he said I should go to his office. When he came back, instead of hugging me or appreciating God for what he has done in my life, he said, let us pray. So when I heard let us pray, I think this may be a negative thing. When you are being confronted with negative response, that is when the people will say let us pray, so that they can break the bad news in the prayer. He said, okay, no problem. At least I was working in about 2 or 3 places. I was a church organist. I was working in St. Anne's and in a particular primary school, Victory Nursery and Primary School in Ibadan. So, and I was collecting 3 different salaries like that. So I will go back. So, but in the prayer, he said, we thank God for everything that happened today, and we thank God that Mr. Begunde has been appointed. I immediately opened my eyes. I said, okay, why did you do like that? If I had been appointed, why are you saying that in prayers to me? So that's Mr. Akinwumi for you. He's down to heart. He was down to heart. He was humble. He was humane. He could give anything. He could give anything. He is so loving. All his students love him. And the best of it all is that he's musically sound. For somebody who had been working in a bank, to have left banking and coming for teaching, then one will say, what is wrong with this man? To have left a more lucrative job for teaching. But because that's where his interest lied, and he was trying to pursue. I even learned that when he was in the bank, he would always carry his bass guitar along. So people had known him for being very musical. And that's it. And another thing about him is no matter how difficult a piece of music may be, handle, back, whatever, no matter how difficult, Mr. Akinwumi will teach the 4 parts within an hour. Everybody will get it. Within an hour, all the 4 parts. That is wonderful. And there was even another experience, because it's one of the Nigerian art musicians, musicologists, that of note. And why I even respected him was that our mama of African music, Professor Mosun Omibi Yobidike, we were in the class one day, and Mr. Akinwumi came to visit myself and Dr. Samuel. Both of us were pursuing our master's degree at UI. So when we introduced Mr. Akinwumi to Mama, Mama stood up for him, said, is this Mr. Akinwumi that she has been hearing of? Oh, that's great for a professor a highly respected professor in Africa, to have stood up for somebody, you know how that person must be highly referred. So that's Mr. Akinwumi. Even he wanted every lecturer to have a piano in his office to practice with. And he's an encourager. He will encourage you. He will motivate you to do more. Even most of the times when he saw me teaching, say, so you are this good. It's how people have talked about you. So he asked me to be teaching history of music with part 3 students. The very first day I entered and taught, and they said, this man did not bring anything to class. And for 2 hours, he was just talking, and what type of man is this? So that's because of the motivation we got from him. And that's how it was good to both students and staff. And so what do you want to say about him? He's highly talented and a multi-instrumentalist. You see, he plays guitar, he plays trombone, he plays keyboard, and a very good conductor and choir trainer. Just like I said, no matter how difficult, how contrapuntal a particular music may be, he was there to teach it within an hour, all the parts, and the student will get it just like that. That is Mr. Akinwumi for you. So he had several compositions, both cantata, opera, and drama music. And because of him, when he was the HOD, he made sure that instead of students writing long essay, that apart from long essay, they could also do some other things that will make them look musical, like construction and performance. In that performance, the student will organize choir, will also collect repertoire for his own performance. If he happens to be a singer, he will have singing repertoire. If he's a pianist or whatever instrument he plays, he will collect repertoire for that instrument. Which he will play as for solo, and then the choir and so on, like concert. It has always been a very entertaining one. But Oga has been very nice to everybody, and he had encouraged so many students. And for him, because of him, several students would like to gain admission to the music department. They wanted to be under his tutelage. They wanted to be known as students under Mr. Debo Akinwumi. So, but after his demise, we are only trying. Nobody could actually break that record. He has done so marvelously. He has done that record cannot be broken. Up to today, we still remember him that if it were when he was alive, like for example, the college was charging us to bring up a composition or an anthem for the college. For him, composition was just too easy. I could recollect when I himself and Dr. Samuel, I invited them to Shaki for a kind of music workshop. And those who came, they gained a lot from him. And it was there and then that he had another commission that he should compose for Baptist women in Africa anthem. So I made them to sleep at the pastorium. And the following morning when I went there, he had composed 2 different anthems for the women. Baptist African Alliance, whatever, women something. And he rendered the 2 to me. He said, which one will I pick? I said, oh God, the 2 are good. But he said, just pick one. I said, okay, I pick this one. Not unknown to me that was the one Dr. Samuel also picked. So, and he came back, when we came back to Oyo, told the students, and we went to Ede to perform that piece at Ede. And several places we have been performing, leading us to perform, and most of his compositions and others, anything they requested for, we make it available for those people. And then, so that's how we enjoyed him at music department. I thank God that he has a son. Apart from complexion, the son is a replica of Mr. Akinwumi. The difference is only in complexion. Mr. Akinwumi is fair. Damola Akinwumi is not as fair as the father in complexion. But it's like he deposited every form of music into him. So, in fact, it's just a replica of his father. Is it in terms of composition? He plays almost all the instruments his father was also playing. He plays guitar, he plays trombone, he plays flute, he plays keyboard, and so on and so forth. So it's just like his father. And anywhere you see him, you will see him performing. Even go to Google, go to Facebook, you will see him. And whenever I had the opportunity, he will gather 2 or 3 people together, and you will see them performing. And this must have been what he has inherited from both his father and mother. Because the mother too, maybe that's why Mr. Akinwumi married her. Was a singing bird too. When they met in the choir, was a very good singer, the mother too. So he took from mother and took everything from the father. So I thank God for his life. And I want to charge him to continue in that manner. The legacy that the father has bequeathed to him, he should try to make sure that doesn't die prematurely. So, and I want to see him high, because our prayer is that our children will make greater exploits 10 times or even 100 times than what we might have achieved. I know sky is even not the limit for him. He will go places. He will be known throughout Africa and throughout the world with this music. It doesn't matter. He may not even read music like we did. I want to pray for you that you will excel in all your endeavors. You will excel. You will know no sorrow. You are not going to die untimely. You will grow old, and the whole world will benefit from your wealth of musical experience. You are going to make exploits. You are going to be greater 10 times than your father in all areas and in all ramifications. So please try and make sure that the legacy does not die. So try to light it up. I know you are going to make it in life. Thank you very much.
My name's Peter Oluwakayode Victor. The first time we met was in an ensemble class. So ibẹ̀ ló ti máa ń check voice wa, one more voice classification wa. So it's always fun in class. We call everybody out to sing one song. Late Debo Akinwumi, sincerely, I missed him. If there are people who missed him, I'm part of them. Because he was the one who laid my hand on the guitar. And sincerely, àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n kọ́ mi on theory ló hold mi títí di ìsìn. Sincerely, I would have been an art composer too if he stayed a little longer on art. Because I wanted to follow after his step. Though we had lecturers that are good, but not in his own line. Ẹ mọ̀ pé ẹ̀dá ọ̀tọ̀ ni àwa èèyàn is different. So I really missed him in that area. He started teaching me trombone too then, within that period. So, but alas, I can remember he said I should come and meet him at First Baptist Church, Oyo, then. After which he also took me to his office. We took some lessons and we were preparing to resume year 1 from prelim when he left Planet Art. There are a lot of his songs that I love so much. One is Omi Wo Yanrin Gerere, Omi ò lápá, omi ò lẹ́sẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n ó wọ́ yanrìn, láì lápá láì lẹ́sẹ̀, ó wọ́ lọ. Then mo ti jáwé gbégbé, ayé ẹ má gbàgbé mi, mo ti jáwé onítẹ̀tẹ̀ kí wọ́n má tẹ̀ mí mọ́lẹ̀. Let me go through mo ti jáwé gbégbé. Mo ti jáwé gbégbé, ayé ẹ má gbàgbé mi. Mo ti jáwé onítẹ̀tẹ̀ kí wọ́n má tẹ̀ mí mọ́lẹ̀. Àwọn orin wọn kan wà tó ṣe wípé kò sí ìsàkúlẹ̀ pé àwa tí a wà ń prelim mọ́ ya wà ń gbà yẹn la lè rántí, because wọ́n plan láti gbé orin yẹn jáde akọ̀ǹkọ̀ ní ensemble. Then I can remember the refrain that says ayé fẹ́ kó bàjẹ́ o káwọn lè máa yó, kó lè bàjẹ́ o, ènìyàn fẹ́ kó bàjẹ́ o káwọn lè máa yọ̀, kó lè bàjẹ́ o, ọ̀tá fẹ́ kó bàjẹ́ o káwọn lè máa gbémú, kó lè bàjẹ́ o. Kó lè bàjẹ́ o. I want to thank God that he died, but he's not dead. His works, his composition are evergreen. Evergreen. There's no way you use Debo Akinwumi's work, his composition, his poet. Whether his dirge, the one you used for burial, whether to count just a few, there's no way you use a song and you will not know that something is inside of his composition.
My name is Olubukola Abosede Fagbile. Yes, Oga, we used to call him Oga. Debo Akinwumi. In 2000, I met him in 2000 when I was still in my prelim days, then St. Andrews College of Education. He's one of our lecturers, the HOD of that department during that period. Oga, very friendly man. He was a father to us in the department. He's a very rare gem of a man. You can't find another Debo Akinwumi in that department. Only God can bring another Debo Akinwumi, because he's our father. He used to play with us, rap with us, gist. Whenever we have any program, if we just call, maybe 3 of us, you are singing what part? Alto, soprano, tenor. You come to my office, come and have some piece of song. So he will come to call us and we sing in his office during that period of time. Oga is one of the best lecturers. He teaches harmony. When you see his harmony, very sound in harmony. So he used to take parts 3 harmony. But he used to teach us ensemble. We call that ensemble singing. We used to sing take the choir along when we are in the department. There was still a day we were going. There is heavy rain during that time. And we were going along Okebo side. We were moving, we were going home together because Oga cannot walk alone. You follow him, because no matter when you follow him, he will be singing for you when you are going. He will be singing. You just be singing. Oh yeah, come on, escort me. I want to get to my house where I'm going home. Oh yeah, you student, what are you doing there? Yeah, follow me, follow me. So we follow Oga. By the time we were going, we saw erosion passing, going with sand. Oga I said, Agbala, because he used to call me Agbala, because I'm from Agbala. So he say, Agbala, come, see, what happened? Oga is sand now. There is sand going with sand. Oga I said, okay, sand, omi wonyanrin, gerere, omi wonyanrin. So this following day, second day, in fact, Oga have made an arrangement of the song for almost 3 pages. Omi wonyanrin, gerere. He said, Oga, but it's yesterday that you are talking about this. So there is no way you can't forget that memory. Okay, so he used to sing for us. Again, during my performance, it's only my performance that we have a night vigil for choir. I can't forget his role he played. It's after our rehearsal for night, the second day, Oga landed into the hospital. And we're having a performance project next week. So me and my partner, we now went to feast him in the hospital. When we got there, he said, Buki, Agbala, ọkùnrin àtobìnrin, ẹ tún wá wò mí, what happened? I said, Oga, sorry, because he was receiving drip during that time. Oga, hey, sorry. He now said, don't worry, I will be in that performance tomorrow. He said, Oga, don't worry, don't bother to come. Don't worry, all the Ogas there will grade us. No. I don't want them to give you bad grade. I want good grade for you. I will be there. Oga with drip. What inspired me? The second morning, around 7 o'clock, we met Oga in the department with suit, and they've just removed the drip. When we saw Oga, I said, Oga, I said, I just asked my daughter that I want to get to somewhere. They should come and remove the drip. Please, I must get there. But he still performed. He played. In fact, at the end of the performance, we are even happy. Ghana, if I'm not here, I don't know what will have happened to you. No, he gave us good grade A in our performance as a project. Instead of writing a project, we have a performance for it. We just make a recording of it. So that is I can't forget what inspired, because he was a person that is very kind. He can't leave his students alone and be doing all that. He make his life for all the students in the department. Hey, ẹ̀yin ọmọ tẹ́lú pẹ́lú bẹ́yẹn, who are those making noise there? Ẹ̀yin ọmọ tó yẹn, wọ́n ti mọ̀ pé ẹ̀yin náà lè máa make noise in bẹ́yẹn. Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́, wọ́n tún ti dé. You see them how they be doing, no? Okay. Ẹ̀yin Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ ìṣẹ́ṣà máa make me happy. Mama bínú, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Olúmídé, we are just coming to the rehearsal. Ọ̀gá, no. Tell me. Okay, àwọn girlfriend ẹ̀yin ò jẹ́ gbádùn ni. Sorry. Ẹ ní ìdẹ̀lẹ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan. Ẹ ṣá máa kàwé yín. You need it to. That is Ọ̀gá. Yes. There was a day we are in the department. He sang a song for our mates, Sheun, because that girl is from Awe. So when the guy is talking about Awe, you don't resemble Ogbomoso people. Don't tamper with my Ogbomoso. Oh yeah, okay. What is your name? Sheun. 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 You know say, Sheun mi àtàtà, ọ̀rẹ́ mi Sheun mi àpé, ọ̀rẹ́ mi ọ̀rẹ́ tímọ́tímọ́, ọ̀rẹ́ kòríkòsùn mi bí mi ò bá rí Sheun mi ò lè jẹ́. Bí mi ò bá rí Sheun mi ò lè mú. Ẹni tó bá sọ pé ó kù bí tó gbé gbà, ìyẹn á bá gbà lọ, ìyẹn á bómi lọ, ìyẹn á kó sẹ́lórí, ìyẹn á wọlé lọ. Gbogbo kìràkìtà á wá di wẹ́lò. And I said, Ọ̀gá, he's only saying in the class. He said, you, Gbala, you laugh. Okay. Bùkọ́lá, ẹlẹ́rìn ẹyẹ. Bùkọ́lá, ẹlẹ́rìn ẹyẹ. Bó ti mọ̀wé rẹ̀, bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ń dára fẹ́gbẹ́. Bó ti mọ̀wé rẹ̀, bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ń dára fẹ́ bí. Bùkọ́lá, ẹlẹ́rìn ẹyẹ. So we all laugh. Ọ̀gá, thank you. So if I can't forget Ọ̀gá in my life, whenever I'm teaching my students, no matter when I'm teaching Nigerian Art Music, I will talk about his life. Okay. There is one man I've met in my life, Debo Akinwumi, he's Ọ̀gá. He used to compose anytime, any day. No matter how, whenever you have any program, just tell Ọ̀gá you're having a program around 2 today. He will compose. I used to tell my students, in fact, he's a man. But though he make a fulfill life, he fulfill his destiny. Because all over the world, they know his song. It's why all the Baptists, even we that we are in CS, we always perform most of his composition. So I can't forget Ọ̀gá. I just talked about him like 2 or 3 weeks ago in my class when I was teaching. I sang this Sheun for the student. Ọ̀gá will sing for you. But no matter, he will sing. Even if you are not happy, he will sing for you. Sorry. Okay, come to my office. When do you have free period? You having lecture when? If you don't have lecture, come to my office. So that is Oga. I can't forget Oga in my life. Well, from now till when I will die, I know I will be praying for Oga because he make a fulfilled life. He's a rare gem. All the song is very inspired. He has a lot of inspiration songs. So, Oga, wherever you are, may your soul rest in perfect peace. And all the family you left behind, even we, your students, the legacy, we can't forget because you composed a song for Model High School. The anthem for Model High School is your composition. A lot of songs that you composed, we can't forget you. I pray for the family that the Lord should console them. And Damola Akinwumi is one of my students in Model High School. In JS2, he used to play recorder and trumpet during that time. And I know that he's worth to do it, more than what his father have done. He's a songwriter, a poetic in nature, and very inspired. And I think he be into the African music. So may the Almighty God continue to be with him to get a greater height. So his name is going to speak in higher places in Jesus' name.
July 19, 2005 was a day I will never forget in my life.
When we learned of his demise, thank you. On that fateful day, I was about to see Bumi Adedokun at Model Secondary School. And when my wife had known about it, but did not know how to break the news to me. So she was following me about. She followed me to that school, Model High School. So when I got there, Bumi said, Ekpele ana o. I said, Ekpele ana. What? Eti igbo. Nigbo kini, tell me, hey, Mr. Akinwumi died.
I just got back from school on that fateful day, and I was waiting. I was at home together with my mom. My brother and my sister were still on their way from school. All of a sudden, we got a loud knock on our door, where one of our neighbors came knocking that my father was having an asthma attack. So we quickly rushed out to meet him. He was actually on a bike on that fateful day. And while I saw him, he was still very much alive, but he was breathing with serious difficulty. And he asked me to lay my hand on him to pray for him. He's such a man of faith that even in his difficult moment, he always called on God. And he actually trained me and my younger ones to always depend on God in all situations. So we prayed, and he was taken to the hospital that fateful day together with my mom and some of our neighbors. My mom later came back that evening. I was informed that my father was receiving treatment. But by the following morning, the reverend of our church came to the house to break the news of his demise. July 19, 2005 is a day I will never forget in my life.
That's how I busted into serious weeping. I was weeping profusely that Mr. Akinwumi died. I never heard that he was sick, but I knew he had some challenges, some health challenges, as it has to do with asthma. So, but I never thought that would be the thing that will cut his life short. So, and then the whole scenario was narrated to me, and that's how we got back to school and started trying to plan the kind of commendation service that we have to organize for him. So, and we did that. Well, some of his compositions were also learned and rendered there. I also sang The Trumpet Shall Sound, accompanied by Mr. I.B. Omobola.
The trumpet shall sound, and the be raised, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible.
And the students mimicked him, how he would put his trouser above the something. Then they mimicked him, and so we had the program organized for him.
We are coming from lecture and we heard about his sudden death. He said, no, it can't be Oga. No, it's not Oga. So we all of us will now move to his house. Ah, is it true? Is it true? Oga? Ah, orin lọ.
My names are Prophet Apostle Mikaya Songito Olalekomorundia, Debo Akinwumi of blessed memory. So many years ago, between the year 2000 and 2001, I met him in Adeniran College of Education, Obusoya, down there in Ijaneke. He was there as a lecturer on a sabbatical leave. I was a student under his tutelage. Debo Akinwumi, the man Debo Akinwumi, was a disciplinarian to the core, a law-abiding, fearing, somebody that you can easily approach. The cordial relationship between Debo Akinwumi and with the student is more of a brother or a father to a son. He was so down to earth that no matter how bad you are, he will tolerate you, he will accommodate you. Like me now, I remember very far back when I used to be a very stubborn sharp. So many times he would call me, talk to me as a brother, as a father. Well, boy, what's your problem? Try go back certificate. Then how will I put it? When you are still very young and you have useful experience, you believe that life is full of bed of roses. But he made me to understand what life is supposed to be. I really bless the name of God the day I met him because he imparted a lot of things in me. He might not be on earth anymore, but his name, his legacy still lives on. For the children, Dayo, Dolapo, and Damola, I pray for you today. I speak with the power of authority above all day that it shall be well with you. Wherever you go to, whatever you lay your hand on, God will project you. Your glory will shine. You might think your father died at a very tender age ṣùgbọ́n kéèyàn kú ní kékeré kó yẹ̀yàn ó sàn ju kéèyàn dàgbà kó darúgbó kó má make impact. Mama, I celebrate you. Dayo, Dolapo, Damola, Mama, I celebrate you. I celebrate you. I celebrate you. It shall be well with you. God bless you. Celebrate Jesus.
My name is Dapo Dina, and I'm a jazz scientist, originally from Nigeria, and I was raised in South Africa, and I live in the United States of America. I met Debo Akinwumi through my dad, my late father, who will always bring instructors to the house to show us how to play instruments and all, because I'm from a music family of 5, and my father bought all the musical instruments in the house. We had piano, we had saxophone, trumpet, and many more, but we didn't know how to play it. So he would bring some instructors, but when he brought this one, the whole family fell in love with him because firstly, he was a good-looking man. Secondly, it was kind-hearted. It was passionate about what he does. It was a very articulate individual and very unique. So he ended up becoming a part of the family. I call him Uncle Debo. He was actually the one who God used. It was like an angel that God used for me to find my path as a musician. He saw the potential I had, and he told me, hey, listen, man, I think you should go ahead and study music. And he sent me to one of his colleagues who is a lecturer at the Polytechnic of Ibadan. The late legendary organist Ayodele Christopher. So when he told me to do that, I was like, okay, how do I do it? Because Dad doesn't want me to study music. Dad didn't want me to. Dad wanted something else, so even though he wanted us to know how to play the musical instruments, but he wanted something else. But he said he was going to talk to Dad. So it was like the main man who kind of gave me directions, into the journey of becoming a professional musician. And every now and then when we had events in the house, like wedding ceremonies, he would bring the orchestra and the full band to the house. I remember my sister, our firstborn, Sister Yemi, and Sister Nika was also part of his band at that time, which was called Debo Akinwumi Chorale. I remember one time I was going to Lagos. I stopped by and bought some bananas, and this was very fun because I was just eating the bananas. I was trying to get to Lagos, and I was so hungry. So I had like maybe 10 pieces, let me just put it that way. And I'd eaten too much of bananas, and by the time I got to Lagos, I was sick in my stomach, and I was all over the place, almost dying. And there goes Debo again. And he just was like, man, have you seen your sister? I said, no. He said, okay, come over here. They took me to the hotel room, met my sister, because I think they had a performance in Lagos. That's why they were all there. And I just wanted to see it, meet my sister, spend some quality time, with Uncle Debo and all that. So he's also like a kind of medical person, So he gave me some pills that day, took care of me. And like right there after, I was feeling sick, I was gonna die, and like he gave me those pills, and after like maybe 40 minutes, I was perfectly fine. I was like, so it's not only, so it's like music, medicine, and life in general. He was accommodating, and he was ready to help. He was just a different person. He's someone that should be immortalized, and someone that should never be forgotten. The impact he made can never be forgotten. even in his contributions to music and art in general, the Nigerian music. He was one of the one of the pioneers. He was the main pioneer of counterpoints, four parts or more harmonies into the traditional indigenous music. It was very creative. He had this fusion music going on into the classical music, and the harmony were very unique. You can't beat that. And he had so much compositions that even till now people are still everywhere in the world still playing his music, trying to score his music, trying to present or perform his compositions, because they're so unique, they're so soulful, and you can't get past that. As an evidence of his arrangements and with all this great work that he's done in a quest to immortalize him, that led me to a tribute project that I dedicated to Debo Akinwumi. This was in 2020, and to me, Debo Akinwumi is an institution, and it should be immortalized and can never be forgotten. And I just thank God for the life. I thank God for the opportunity that He gave to me. I thank God for His family. I thank God for the opportunity that was given to me to have met this great guy, and also like to keep up the legacy and continue, some of his ideas and present it to the world. And I just pray that God will take care of the family that he left behind. And thank you so much for this opportunity.